Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Good evening, bro. Good to see you. Hopefully, you're
You
having
too,
a
man.
good week. I know you said it was a long day. I've had those before, so hopefully this will take your mind off of it for a little bit, and we
Little
can
bit.
talk some football. Um, week three is in the
Yeah.
books. It was an interesting week, to say the least. There are still some surprising teams out there. So let's start there. Let's talk about a couple of maybe surprises or takeaways that you have after three games, or if you just want to be specific to week three. What are some of the things that stand out to you right now?
Well, Giants are the same old Giants. I was expecting them. I picked them to be the upset over the Chiefs. I remember I said and of course I was wrong here. I
Right.
felt like it was disrespectful that the Chiefs were favored by 6.5 because I thought the Giants were at least good enough to cover.
Yeah.
And you know, Giants just were the Giants. I'll be honest. I don't think they're going to start Jackson Dart moving forward. It's already been announced, but I don't think Brian Dable has a job at the end of the year. Um,
I don't either.
Cowboys, CD getting hurt, but still they didn't look great even when CD was in the game. Um, Falcons dropping a 0
Yeah.
to the Panthers.
Yeah, I would say if we're sticking to just week three, that was the biggest surprise to me. Was the not that the Carolina Panthers beat them because it's a division game and anything can happen
It's
in
a
a division
division
game,
game, but 30-0.
but 30-0, that yeah, I think Atlanta was feeling themselves a little bit after the Monday night win, last week, and then they kind of got caught up and oh, we're playing Carolina, and Carolina came out and as they say, put belt to ass is what they did.
Yeah. There was one other thing that stood out to me, which was championship teams, whether it's pretty or ugly, they always find a way to win. And that's what the
Yeah,
Eagles did.
that is exactly what the Eagles did. Yeah, it did not look pretty in the first half of that game for the Eagles at all.
No, not at all.
I I think and we talked about it. We talked about it. We said if they're going to try, even though Saquon went nuts on the Rams the last two games they played, I think we both talked. We knew we just by watching these first two games Philly was not just going to turn around, hand the ball off to Saquon, and beat LA. And that's what was
No.
happening in the first half. That's what they were trying to do, and they were not successful at all. LA was controlling the game. When they came out
Yeah.
in the second half and they started throwing the ball around, the entire game flipped. Now, obviously, if they don't block that last second field goal, we're talking a different story. Eagles are
Yeah.
are not undefeated right now, but they did block it, and we don't live in if land. So I agree with you. I
That's
think
right.
championship teams always find a way to win. And that's what the Eagles just do that,
Big boy
right?
turned on the burners.
Man. Yeah. So that was for a couple of reasons. It was kind of messed up. I think obviously Rams fans in general was messed up because you had the game in the bag basically if the field
They
goal doesn't get
thought,
blocked, right? That's what they
right?
thought.
Yeah.
Uh, for fantasy managers, if you're going against the Philadelphia Eagles defense, ooh, that's a killer, right? And then for the gamblers, let's just call it what it is, right? That's a big reason a lot of people watch football. The spread, I think, was 3.5, and the Rams were going to cover that, even if they had blocked it and it went out of bounds and they called it down or whatever. The Rams would have
Right.
covered that. But the fact that he picked it up and ran it all the way back, it ruined a ton of bets as well. So yeah, that was an impactful play across all aspects of football last week.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was for sure.
yeah. One other thing that stood out to me, I think that was funny was I don't think it's funny because they ended up losing. I just thought it was funny because he was so in the moment. Was Aaron Glenn's celebration on the sideline when the
Yeah.
Jets blocked the field goal, ran
Yeah.
it back for a touch. Oh, dude.
He was
Like
so
that,
pumped up.
he was so excited. You could tell like he was just in the moment having the time of his life. That was just amazing.
Reminded me a little bit of Robert Saleh.
Yeah. Oh, Solid gets into it too. Yeah.
He
So,
gets into it.
unfortunately for him, his team wasn't able to pull it out, but yeah, that was a great moment for everyone to see. Obviously, it's going to be a meme for the rest of time now, which is good because I'm going to use it for a lot of stuff, I'm sure. Um, All right, so I want to get a little specific on some of the other surprises that I've noticed that stand out to me. One of the biggest ones in not such a good way is the Houston Texans right now. A little surprised by the where they're at, right? The CJ Stroud's averaging less than 200 yards a game. He's at 199 a game. He's got 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So obviously has taken a big step back from not only from his rookie year, but even last year, where he took a step back from his rookie year. So um, that's kind of surprising to me. I know obviously they're Mixon's out, but they have Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's not a scrub. I mean, he's not what he used
No,
to be, but he's not a scrub. So
right.
I'm kind of surprised by that. They're in the bottom third of the league in rushing. They're only averaging about 95 yards a game. Um, defense is tied for fifth in scoring, so the defense is keeping them in games. The offense is really what's surprising to me, and it'll be interesting to see if that trend continues if they make it at quarterback, or I'm not quarterback, but at coach, and what kind of questions start coming about CJ Stroud as the noise start getting louder and louder as the season goes along, right? Was his rookie year what we should expect from him, or was that more of an abnormality where the league just didn't have film on him, and he surprised everyone? So that's one of the things that stood out to me. Now, on the positive side, what's standing out to me is still those Indianapolis Colts. Um, 3-0. They are
One
uh
punt.
yeah, one punt in 3 games. Daniel Jones is number 3 in passing yards in the league right now. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and that was always his biggest knock in New York was he would show flashes,
Turnovers.
but then he would have a game where he'd throw 2, 3 interceptions and
Right.
cost them the game, right? And they wouldn't have a chance. Jonathan Taylor looks like the Jonathan Taylor from 3 years ago. He looks fully healthy. He's leading the league in rushing. He also has 3 touchdowns. He has 0 fumbles, which I'll touch on why that I think that's even more important here in just a moment, because that's one of my other surprises. But also their defense, Indianapolis defense, playing really well. There's number 7 in total defense, and they are tied for ninth in scoring, giving up just over 18 points a game. So when you have an offense that's operating the way that's operating, and a defense that's allowing less than 20 a game, I think that, it's a recipe for success. We'll see how long it lasts. I think a lot of people are still waiting for the clock to strike midnight on Daniel Jones, but we'll see. So those are a couple of surprises. And the other thing I'll throw out there, last thing, and then I'll get your reaction on my takes. By the end of this weekend, either the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be 1-3. And if you had told me that at the beginning of the season that after 4 weeks, one of those teams was going to be 1-3, I probably would have taken that bet. And that I wanted to touch on the reason I think that JT is standing out head and shoulders above some of these other guys is Derrick Henry's had 3 fumbles in the last 3 weeks. That's so unlike Derrick Henry. So that's one of the other takeaways that stood out to me this week is in crucial moments he's had fumbles, right? 2 fourth quarter fumbles that essentially have turned both games and cost his team the game. So really surprising there. So a lot to unpack there. I know I said a lot, but that's what stood out to me so far.
Yeah, well, the Derrick Henry thing definitely surprises me. I I'll be shocked if he has another fumble this year, but who
We'll see.
knows? We
Yeah.
will see. But it really does surprise me. You don't really. This guy's been in. He's a Hall of Famer. He's
Yeah.
never had fumbling problems in his career, and all of a sudden you get 3 games in a row, 3 fumbles, 2 of them really bad timing, really bad positions of the game,
Yep.
and like I mean, when you play the position as long as he does, you're bound to have some rough patches, some rough stretches. So I think that's what it is for him, especially at the running back position, because you don't see many running back playing as long as he does.
Yep.
And so I just chalk it up as like, hey, he's just in a rough patch right now, and he'll get on track. But he needs to do it this week against the Chiefs, because, like you said, they're
That's a
staring down the
big
barrel
game
of
for
one and
both of
three.
those teams.
Yeah. And I think to me, it would shock me more, though, that the Ravens are 1-3 than the Chiefs,
Oh yeah.
because the Chiefs are battling a lot more adversity and I try not to use that as an excuse, especially with the Chiefs. But
Yep.
That's the truth of the
But
matter. The
the
Ravens are
reality
a
is they
healthy
are.
team. They have all their receivers. They have a healthy running back. They have healthy defense. Like
They're just
everyone
beating
on their roster is
themselves.
healthy. To me, there's no excuses for them to be 1-2 right now. And like really, the one win
Yeah,
they got was a little bit of a
Cleveland.
struggle as
And they
well.
struggled against Cleveland. Yeah. So,
So
yeah, I agree. I think Baltimore's beating themselves. I think that's what it's coming down to, right? You blew a 15-point lead with 5 minutes left against Buffalo, because of a turnover, and then this game, obviously flipped, because of a turnover. I will have to say, my one of my bold predictions is already looking like it is definitely not going to be true. I was completely wrong about the Detroit Lions so far. I looked like I was right after week one, but I've been completely wrong since then. So I will admit, it looks like I was wrong about that one. Lions. All right, I guess you're going to be
hey,
okay.
they look pretty
Uh,
good.
yeah, so I agree with you. I think Kansas City's, if you could justify one of them being 1-3 more than the other after week four, it's probably Kansas City because of their injuries.
Right.
Um, Baltimore again has just been shooting themselves in the foot, at the worst
Exactly.
times. So
Yeah.
it'll be
As far as the
interesting.
Colts go, that's awesome, man. I'm
Yeah.
actually. It's exciting to see these
Yep.
guys play good, and it makes you wonder. I give a lot of credit to Shane Steichen, honestly,
Yeah.
but it kind of makes you wonder, like, man, they really missed bad with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, just you think about how bad the Niners missed with Trey Lance, right? I think this is
Just as
worse,
bad.
almost just as bad. The
Yeah.
reason why the Niners was so like scrutinized was because they
Because of the
traded him away
trade. Yeah, the
peanuts.
picks. Yeah, the
Yeah,
picks that they gave up to get up there, I
yeah,
think is
exactly. We
is
made the trade to get up
yeah,
there, and then
and
we trade
then
him away.
for
So
nothing. So yeah, I
I
agree.
I see the situations very similar in that aspect, but man, you just have to wonder, like, if Shane
Yeah,
Steichen, if Anthony Richardson was half of what they thought he was going to be, they probably would have been a pretty good team. I mean, just his
yeah,
athleticism alone. So I give a lot of credit to Shane Steichen here, though. Daniel
yep.
Jones is playing great ball, but I think Steichen's putting them in great position to win games.
Yeah, I mean that's always a big part of it is your coach putting you in the right position, which is obviously what was not happening in New York, as we can tell. And one other thing I'm going to call out really quick. I want to give a shout out to Saquon Barkley, even though he plays for the Eagles, and right now I can't stand the Eagles. I want to give him a shout out though. Saquon, you could tell that he's genuinely a good person, way before, but one of the things, a quote that I saw was he said that other than myself and the Philadelphia Eagles, I want Daniel Jones to be successful, because their time they spent in New York and like he saw the
Right.
work he put in. So maybe it's not so much that Danny Dimes was terrible in New York. Maybe it was just the Giants are just that bad. Hopefully for Jackson Dart's sake, that's not the case, but we're going to find out on Sunday. I don't think he could have picked a worse team to start him against, other than, Jim Harbaugh led Chargers. So, but we'll see. We'll talk about that on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. Come over to the Niners. Recap last week's game. Obviously, another hard fought division win. Cardinals always play the 49ers tough. Those games always seem to
Always.
come down to the last possession or two. No matter how good one team or the other is, it always seems that it's a close game. Obviously, the story is, as always, injuries continue to be the story for the 49ers. Big loss, huge loss. Nick Bosa tearing his ACL.
Massive.
Um,
Outside of losing Purdy, that's Purdy and Warner. I think that's
yeah,
those are the three biggest players we can't really afford to lose.
yeah, I would agree. So obviously that's the big story coming out. They won the game, but really, they lost probably their best player, if not their best, one of their two best players. Um, what I will say though is the defense stuck together. They held it together. We had a couple of Michael Williams sightings. I know he's a little banged up after the game, but we did see him a little more, flash a little more. I was happy
Yeah.
to see that. Hopefully he continues to do that and can be involved a little more. Um, I'll be honest, I think, and you can call me a homer if you want, but I think if the 49ers can figure out a way to navigate this season and somehow be healthy when the playoffs come, there's going to be a lot of teams in the NFC that should be very scared. The defense is playing really good with a lot of young players. They're just going to get more experience and get better and better as the season goes along. And I think that health is probably going to be the only thing that prevents them from being mentioned with the contenders all season. And as long as they can get to the playoffs and be close to fully healthy, I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams when the playoffs do get here. So that's my opinion. That's what my takeaway is after watching these first three games, especially that division game last week where they had to overcome a lot of adversity, right? Injuries. Not
Yeah,
only you got your backup quarterback in the game, then he gets hurt. You had to overcome that. A safety that looked like it was going to cost us the game. Defense overcame that. So that's my takeaways from the Niners so far.
yeah. I mean, I was gonna say just as like even you got Mac, there's just something going on with the team. Like they're pretty connected. It's funny because they're actually reminding me a lot of like OKC right now, just because they seem to be playing a lot for each other. It's like next
Yep.
man up, next man up, next man up, and that's kind of where they say OKC's identity is. So that's where I go to because I'm an OKC fan. But anyways, um, that's what's going on. I mean, you got guys literally stepping up in the face of adversity, like you said, and coming through in the clutch. We got our starting quarterback. He's been out. Mac Jones is playing lights out. Mac Jones gets hurt in the third quarter. He's literally limping around in the game. Puts a brace on. What third, fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Puts a brace on his knee. Still throws for 284 yards and a touchdown. Right. Still threw 41 total passes in the game, right? So listen, these guys
Yeah.
are all playing for each other. They're all playing for each other, and I love it. I think their chemistry, their locker room right now is fully in sync. And like you said, if they can just get halfway healthy and keep playing for each other, people are not going to want to play them. And I'm going to throw something else on there. We get a little bit more efficiency from CMC, a little bit more than 3.5 yards per carry he's doing right now. Maybe get some more continuity from the offensive line, open up a bit bigger of a hole,
Yeah.
getting more space when he's running out on the edge. But nonetheless, if he becomes a little more efficient too, that is also going to open up our passing game even more, which is already playing pretty well right now. I mean,
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that obviously we want to see some more production out of CMC. I'll say that number one, I think there's a couple things going
just
into that.
efficiency.
Yeah, I think that teams right now, because we're missing Kittle, because we're missing BA, JJ is in and out, right? And Pearsall is really the only guy that he's going to be there right now. The rest of them, it's like, are they going to be there? Or are they not going to be there? I think that defenses are like their game. Obviously, you're going to game plan for CMC anyways, but I think they're even more focused on them, which is really limiting them in the rushing game. They're averaging less than 90 yards a game, which is not 49ers football. We talked
No,
about it during the week, right? I think that we're number one passing in the league, but like number 28 or 30 in rushing, which is again
yeah,
not typical 49ers. It's not what we've seen from Shanahan in the past. So I think a lot of it goes into the defense's game planning, knowing we don't have to worry about Kittle. We don't have to worry about Ayuk right now. We don't have to worry about Jennings. We got to focus on Pearsall and we got to focus on CMC. And
yeah,
hopefully, when those guys come back, we can see some more efficiency and we'll see some of them bigger. What we're missing is those big chunk runs from CMC. That's what we're missing. He's still getting
exactly.
the volume. He's getting the same volume, if not more. He's on track to have the most touches in NFL history this year.
His
So
best touch though came in the fourth quarter of the game. He made a nice run. It was on, or it wasn't a run. It was on that screen
on the
pass.
screen pass. Yep.
Yeah, the screen pass,
So
and it was lovely. So that was a
yeah.
good chunk play.
So I
But
think once those other guys come back and the defense has to focus on more than just a couple of guys, I think we'll be okay in that area. But no,
yeah,
one thing you pointed
I,
out, a lot of these guys, like you could tell, like they're connected, like you said. Um, I think one of the things that is important is when Kyle Shanahan called all the veterans to his house in the offseason and talked to them about it, you got to show these younger guys what this culture is about, what we're about here. And I think you can tell that they did a good job of doing that and spreading the message
yeah,
throughout the whole team, even the new veterans that came in, not just the young guys. And again, you can see it. They're playing really connected. You could see it in the locker room videos on social media and things like that. They're all cheering for each other and pumping each other up. So I love to see it.
Yep.
I love it, not only because I'm a 49ers fan, but because I think that a team with this a team with this many veterans that's been through all of this, you can't help but cheer for them unless they're your absolute rival. You can't help but cheer for
Right.
a lot of guys like Fred Warner, George Kittle, dudes that have been around and been through it, CMC. If they are able to
Bosa.
get over that hump, yeah, if they get over Juice, guys like that, right? They get that hump. I mean, get over that hump and get that championship. You can't help but be like, all right, you guys earned it. You went through hell to get it. You earned it, and be happy for people like that. Unless they're Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys, and then I hope you never win. Shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
I did get some takeaways from the flip side too on the
Yeah,
Cardinals end. Um, they listen, man. They played. They had plenty of opportunities to win this game,
yeah, they do.
so they gave us everything we could handle. I think they're a young team going through growing pains. They are going to be good. They're going to be good rivals of the 49ers here over the next couple of years. And sends a Marvin Harrison drop, just a flat out drop, two drops,
Wide open.
one just wide, wide. I've never seen anybody
Yeah,
that wide open drop a pass.
yeah.
I just, anyways, like, so sans those couple plays, like, I'll take an ugly win. It's
Uh,
like the Eagles, championship teams find a way to win, even when it's not looking best. And then my final takeaway from the game, not for the Cardinals, 49ers kicker made a game winning field goal.
Eddie P for three.
Hey, baby.
Eddie P for
Yeah.
three.
That's my final takeaway of the game.
Uh,
What I tell you at the
yeah,
beginning of the year, I thought we did the pretender contender, and I called the
yeah.
Niners pretenders because of their
You did.
special teams. You know where I'm leaning a little bit now after
All
that,
right.
baby.
Yeah. One thing I want to add on because you're right, the Cardinals did have every opportunity to win the game.
They made some
Thoughts
good plays.
thoughts go out to James Conner.
Oh
Obviously
yes,
terrible injury, but also back to the football aspect, I think that that was a big turning point, obviously in the game as well, because James Conner typically has a lot of success against the 49ers, and he was having a good day.
he was.
He was off to a really, really good start. And again, unfortunate for him that he had the injury that he had. He's just a really good person to root for if you read his story and you know what he's overcome to be where he's at. So again, uh, hopefully he gets better soon and we see him on a football field again soon. In the meantime, well wishes to you, sir. But yeah, I think that that was a big turning point as well. Cardinals had every chance to win this game, and this actually leads me because they are the Thursday game. The Cardinals are hosting Seattle tomorrow.
Yeah.
And one of the things you brought up was Marvin Harrison Jr. And that's one of the things I was going to touch on as we kind of preview that game is I think that Marvin Harrison, Kyler Murray connection, they have to get some chemistry going soon, or one of them's going to force the other one out of town. And it's probably going to be the quarterback forcing the receiver out of town. And just because that's the way the NFL goes. But we'll see. But yeah, I think to kind of preview that game, Connor being out for the rest of the season is going to be a huge hit to the Cardinals, especially playing a team like Seattle, who has a really good defense this year. They're number two in scoring defense as well, so they're not allowing a lot of points. In my opinion, I think the game's going to come down to can Arizona's defense limit Seattle's passing game? That's where the key matchup's going to be. Arizona's run defense is really good. So they should be able to contain Kenneth Walker pretty well. I don't think they'll shut him down, but they should be able to contain him pretty well, kind of like they did CMC. So they're going to put the game in Sam Darnold's hands. And if they can't slow down that passing game, Cardinals are going to be in for a long day, in my opinion, even though they are at home on a short week, which typically leans to the home team, gives them an advantage. But in this case, I'm not sure that they're going to have much of an advantage. And then the other thing is, Seattle has a 7 game winning streak against the Arizona Cardinals right now. So
Oh
be
well.
interesting to see if they can break that streak. So what are you looking for in the game? What do you expect?
Well, I expect Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba to go off on the Cardinals this week. That's what I
Yeah.
expect. I think the Cardinals are going to struggle because of the unfortunate loss of Connor. they really didn't have a run game after that, and their running backs did
Yeah.
not look great.
Kyler Murray
You
was their
know,
running back.
huh?
After that, it was Kyler Murray was their lead, the number one running back. He was their number one option. So
And it's the short week, so you don't really have much time to install other running backs into
yeah,
your game plan. So I think early on, Seattle puts it on them. Seattle's defense is good. They're a top rated defense, and I think Darnold and JSN go off for a big day. Um, I do expect Seattle to cover the 1.5. I think they're going to win it by probably a touchdown.
yeah,
I'd say 27-20.
okay.
That's where I'll
Uh,
go.
all right, all right. I was gonna go a little closer score, somewhere around 23-20. I think the Cardinals do hang with them, but I just think Seattle. I think that Seattle maybe has 20-10 lead, and Cardinals maybe score a late touchdown to get it close. I don't think the game is actually going to be as close as a 3-point game, but the NFL is funny like that. So I'm going to go with
Yeah,
23-20. And three is the most common margin of victory in the history of the NFL. So, boys and girls, if you do gamble, make sure number one, you can afford to lose. And number two, if the spread is 3.5, take the points.
love it. Love
All
the
right, yeah.
advice.
So yeah,
It's
I expect Seattle to win. Both teams are 2-1, in second place in the division. So behind the 49ers, who are 3-0, and both teams have lost to the 49ers. So you're actually a game and a half behind the 49ers. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. Hopefully, it's not one of those boring, dull Thursday night games, kind of like the 49ers Cardinals game was for 3 quarters. And then in the
yeah,
fourth quarter, they just kind of were like, oh, hey, we're playing football today. So hopefully we get some excitement. And at the end of the day, one of those teams will be one game further behind the 49ers, and that's all I care about. Don't
that's
really,
it. Yeah, two division foes beating each other up.
don't really have
What
a
more
dog
do
in
you
the
ask
fight
for? Yeah,
other than Trey McBride. Hey, Trey McBride, get them catches and them points. Get them catches and them points, brother. Oh yeah, speaking of that, hey bro,
oh yeah. Dang,
that
down
was a close
goes the
game.
champ. Down
Down
that
goes the champ. That was a good
that
game.
was a close game. I'm not
Yeah,
I, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even see it Monday night. I woke up and I saw and I was
bro.
like, okay.
Yeah, I needed like 15 and a half points. So at halftime, oh gosh, it was not looking good. It
And
was
I was
not
in one of
looking good.
those weird situations where you have JSN, you need him to beat me, and I had JSN in another league, and I need him to beat someone.
Well, no, I had who was it? It wasn't JSN. It was Flowers. Zay Flowers.
Oh yeah, Flowers. That's what I meant. I meant
Yeah.
Flowers.
So I
He,
had I needed just if you man, just have a regular game. I'm blowing you out. Halftime, he's got no catches, no targets. I'm like, are you kidding me? When I stopped watching, well, I turned it back on, but I stopped watching for a little bit after halftime. He had one catch for I don't know how, like 6 yards or whatever, and I was like, I'm
yeah.
gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. And then for some reason, I turned it back on towards the end, and I seen him get one more catch. So I was like, "Oh, let me go check real quick." And I was ahead by like zero point 0.8 points, and I was like, "All right, just don't throw it to him again and let him fumble." So
No stat corrections.
yeah, right, yeah. That was the other thing I was worried about. All right, don't adjust any yards or anything. So,
That's too funny.
but yeah, that was a close one.
Yeah, good game though.
Yep.
Good game.
Yeah.
You got
Hopefully,
me.
hopefully I'll win when it matters at the end of the season if I make it that far. Yeah, I was looking, bro. I made the playoffs one time the whole time we've been doing this family league.
That's crazy too, man.
It's tough
Probably
being the
just it's been a
commissioner.
lot of bad beats for you.
Yeah, especially 2020. COVID.
Yeah,
Eh, I wake up last week of the regular season, fantasy wise, half my team is ineligible to play because they got COVID.
it's
Terrible.
crazy.
Then the following year, I made the playoffs and then missed the playoffs on the same play when the guy got the yards that he needed and then fumbled and lost the points. So, yeah, I have had some bad beats. I appreciate you reminding me. Anyways, yeah, thanks. Uh, all right. Hey, Saturday, folks, we will be chatting up obviously week 4. We'll be giving some predictions, obviously breaking down what we think is going to happen in the 49ers game. And then coming up here in a few weeks, bro, we got basketball coming up. NBA is about to be up and going again. Your OKC Thunder obviously are still the favorite, so I'm looking forward to talking about that with you. So start thinking about some ideas for us to go through. And other than that, that's all I got, man. I appreciate you getting together with me on a Wednesday again, chatting some football, and look forward to talking to you again later this
I
week.
love it. Yes, sir. Same.
All right. All right, guys. We appreciate those of you that took the time to watch. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, families, frenemies, enemies, whoever you can. We certainly appreciate it. And as always, don't forget to be kind. It is free unless you are talking to Cowboys fans. Peace.